It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
You ready for basketball again, PK? Because it's back. Last night was a quiet night
Never
on the
left
local
me.
sports scene.
As I told Kevin Young earlier this summer when he said his wife was pregnant, and I said, I'm glad you're finally deciding to keep the commandments and be fruitful and multiply. He said, I've always been keeping the commandments, boy.
He said that too. He's over there trash talking.
He may not have added the boy, but
it was in the tone.
It was implied.
It was implied. Yeah.
basketball's never left me, man. The Jazz have, but now the Jazz are back. And I'm going to put on and wear a Jazz uniform.
Back in action, but not back in Utah. They're back in Tennessee. It's the Memphis Grizzlies.
Fine
The
with
first
me.
game is the Jazz come out of the break red hot and win 3 out of 4 and improve their playoff position. Memphis tonight, winnable game. A couple New Orleans home games coming up, winnable games. Now, it is a limited lineup tonight, PK. You're not going to see Keontae George. I know you like to watch Keontae George, but not tonight. And Nurkic, hey,
He's got a bad nose.
got to rest your nose sometimes.
Right.
Listen, when you got a nasal situation, you got to take care of it.
No, you got,
Dude can't be running up and down a court breathing through his mouth, please. And what if one of those chicken wings comes out and pops him in the nose again?
See, I think every game is winnable. I don't think you can argue it's more winnable, but I think they've got enough talent to win any game.
Including Houston.
Oh, Houston's no
Well, that's
big deal.
when I said they were going to go 3-1 in the next 4. I was not counting on a win at Houston.
I don't know why not.
But I get your point. They're good enough, and they got 3-point shooters, and you're red hot, and stuff happens.
Well, I think it's up to Will Hardy to see who's playing well, and then sit him in the third quarter. See if that causes an uproar.
Play him 3 or 4 minutes instead of 12.
No, just sit him. No, sit him.
Sit him totally in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You're telling me. See,
Just make a mockery of it.
See if
It's
you can get
already
you-
a joke.
See if you can get yourself blown out in the third quarter.
Just play. Well, the 2 games that they sat Markkanen and Jackson, they didn't get blown out in either game.
True story.
I don't think Memphis is capable of blowing anybody out in their current configuration.
Yeah, they've got no John Morant. Obviously, they traded Jackson, so this team is not what they were.
And Desmond Bain is long gone.
Long gone.
Yeah, he was right there in the Jazz grips.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
And they thought Azubuike was better.
Oh,
That'll cost you.
where's he playing now?
I think the local ward in Kansas.
Got some keys down there, lets himself in.
Church ball.
He's playing with Ironi Nesziono.
I don't give a crappy. No way. You did not need to look that up. You
Oh,
were
I
the
did.
only one who
I
carried.
did care, yeah.
I know you did, but the rest of us didn't. Right now,
Yeah.
raise your hand if you did not care.
Look at all those hands.
Beep your horn if you did not care.
Ha, that's a good one. All of a sudden, people are honking at
Right.
each other.
Nobody cares. How did you live your life without the stupid internet?
Pregame at 5, tip-off at... start again. Tip-off at 5, pregame at 4, right here on The Zone.
Hashtag NBA.
Oh, man, the NBA plans to make anti-tanking rule changes next season. That comes from Commissioner Adam Silver in a meeting with all 30 GMs. They're trying out about 7 different concepts. And while some of them move the bag back a step or 2 at first base, other move it back 10 feet. I think one puts it over in the warning track by the dugout. One moves it into short left field. But are any of them going to work, PK?
In the warning track by the dugout.
Yeah. The warning track goes all the way around. So some guy's chasing a foul.
No. That's
foul
not
pop.
the warning track is only in.
What do you call that
outfield.
then? So when some guy's chasing a foul, there's a dirt strip so the first baseman doesn't run into the railing.
It's called a dirt strip, so the first baseman doesn't
Doesn't
run into the railing. That's what
Lottery
it's
odds
called.
could freeze at the trade deadline or at a later date. Well, then they'll just dump
That's so
games earlier.
stupid. Simple. Put all 30 teams into a hat.
Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making a conference finals. Has that been a problem? Has there been a lot of that going on? That'll stop 4 teams. That'll stop 4 teams from tanking. I don't see any of this working.
If you get top 5 pick 3 years in a row, that 4th year, you got to draft a white guy.
Flatten odds for all lottery teams. Well, hey, just take Cooper Flagg. Flatten odds for all lottery teams. Okay, so now they're going to have some team that's on the edge of the playoffs. Just figure, I'm going to jump games.
I respect you so much. You just don't see color, do you?
What?
Look at your background and where you grew up. Why the hell would you see color?
Actually, I did see color. Just not what you saw in New York. Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown said he's considering legal action against the city of Beverly Hills. He told ESPN police shut down a private event he was hosting Saturday night during the NBA All-Star weekend. He said he spent $300,000 on the event, and sponsors have spent $300,000 to $500,000 on the event. They got shut down.
I couldn't care less.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
All right, tomorrow night. UCF at Utah at 7. BYU hosts Iowa State at 8:30. In between that, USU's playing Nevada at 8. 3 games for you to follow. But PK, you're going to one.
I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Be there in person for number 6, Iowa State. And number 23, BYU in Provo. 8:30 on ESPN.
Well, and I'm going to Reno, too.
Johnny Cash song? What are you doing?
No, the Aggies.
You're not going to Reno, though.
Why not?
They're going to Reno.
Buzz right over there. Talk to Steve. I mean, both of us once called Jonathan Tavernari an expletive.
What do you have in common? One of the greatest shooters in the history of Indiana.
Or did you do yours in the postgame handshake line?
No, I didn't do that. Well, we got you on tape here.
No, my bad. That Aggie game will be on FS1, and then Scotty G will have it on The Zone. He'll be on 1280 The Zone at 7:30 with the Aggies. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
The Bears want a new stadium. They're not getting in Chicago, so leaving Illinois, going across the state line. They are talking about a dome stadium in northwest Indiana. Indiana legislators unanimously approved an amendment that would clear a path for the Bears to build a stadium in Hammond, Indiana, about 25 minutes south of Soldier Field.
That's so stupid. I mean, that's like calling Weber State Salt Lake State. They can't be the Chicago Bears then.
The Indiana Bears.
I don't like it. I tolerate the Jets and the Giants in my home state.
Oh, what's the difference?
I just think that there is a distinction between Chicago and
that little corner of Indiana that's right near Chicago, which is where they're going to park this thing if they get it built.
Right. No. It's not the metropolitan area in the way that New York is. And they actually teams train in Jersey. I've been to their training sites. But it's so interchanged. And the Bears,
so many people
Chicago
go back and
Bears.
forth.
See, New York represents an area. Chicago represents a city, man. It's a specific location. The Chicago Bears.
Now you've driven
George Halas.
You've driven around Dallas. Did the Cowboys move too far away when they moved to Arlington?
No.
That was okay. How many miles is that? 15?
Yeah, depending on where you're coming from. It's kind of in the middle there.
Between
and
Dallas
the Rangers
and Fort Worth.
play there, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Chicago Bears are like, they're an institution. The Bears.
So are the New York Giants.
But the New York Giants are an institution in a region. And the Chicago Bears, they go together.
I'm a little surprised you're getting between somebody and their money. The Bears just found their money 25 miles away.
Oh, I'm not blaming the Bears.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point.
Just makes you sad.
Yeah, in Indiana. Indiana's basketball.
Indiana's money. It's all about the money. This has never been more about the money. How many billion can we have? Let's go.
I would imagine that Chicago would come to the table and say, hold it.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened with the racetrack thing. I always thought that's what they were going to do.
That's actually.
And is this leverage to get money for that?
J.B. Pritzker, the governor, is now saying that they're going to fast track something on that front, which they're requesting somewhere around $800 million in public funding, which Illinois apparently has balked at originally.
Yeah. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Stop me if you've heard this headline before. 2 Georgia Bulldog players were arrested this week on charges of speeding at maximum limits and reckless driving. School and coaches have insisted they will clean it up. It is a years-long trend. They've actually had someone killed in a car wreck with someone who was going at an excessive rate of speed, but it keeps happening. Stanford hired NFL veteran Chris Richard as the new defensive coordinator under Tavita Pritchard. Richard had served as defensive coordinator for Pete Carroll with the Seattle Seahawks during his NFL run. You think Stanford's coming back? They're going to turn it loose here with NIL at some point? You know they could if they wanted to.
Well, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
I think the potential there is to hit it out of the park, because if you can combine NIL with the Stanford diploma, which we know will guarantee you a lot more money if you work at it, and that's been a fact, that they could have a real good situation there. And that's like I don't like them being in the ACC, obviously, but that's like the one school that could benefit, because I've had extensive conversations with David Shaw about this, how they have to recruit nationally and how they offer so fewer scholarships compared to what all of their contemporaries. Because I asked them, I said, well, how do you do it? I mean, what's your ability to offer scholarships versus anybody in the Pac-12? He says, oh, I can tell you, I got the numbers.
That he does.
Yeah.
Everyone else is casting a wide net.
Oh, yeah, like 250, 300.
But what's the point? Because Stanford's not going to let in some kid with a 3.3 and a 1,200 on the SAT. Everybody else is like, yes, that's our kid.
They don't go even triple figures. They're down like 75, 50.
Yeah, and he told you about how they identified these 9th graders, and they got them on this plan, and 10th grade, depending on if you're going to 3 or 4 year high school, where the grades start counting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they got a whole academic layout, because it's not just that, but you have to have taken certain classes, and
right.
It really is legitimately grueling.
Yes, and so if they kicked in the NIL, and then they have being able to play on that side of the country, because obviously they're playing on this side of the country for all their home games, I think they have an opportunity there, but we'll see how they figure that one out. You know, the Sun Devils announced they put up a drawing of the facility. Mm-hmm. And Zach Miller, remember, he was tight end for the Raiders and the Seahawks when they won the Super Bowl. He tweeted out, and it's a very nice, obviously, those drawings always look great. Yeah. And Zach said, he played for the Sun Devils. He said, man, if we would have had this when I played, I wouldn't have lost that 15 pounds that one day in practice in August. It's so blazing hot.
Just sweating it out. DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Real Salt Lake opens the 2026 season tomorrow night in Vancouver against the Whitecaps. RSL is going to be shorthanded. There are going to be a lot of guys out with injuries. Pablo Mastroni was talking about it yesterday. He's not exactly sure. There's a few guys who might be back, but there are going to be some young guys out there. Pablo's going to join us at 8:30. We'll see if he has any clarity on how many guys will be missing, but the short answer is several, and possibly a lot. So all the off-season moves, all the anticipation, that's not exactly what they're going to be running out there in Vancouver tomorrow night.
Opening day for you guys. I'm excited.
Opening day. First kick at 5:30, pregame at 4:30.
Good luck to you. I hope you have a great season.
Thank you, PK.
You try to deny it.
DJ, well, it's just, I'm not dealing with your sarcasm.
We got Scotty over here. Just
not dealing with your sarcasm.
Yeah, that dunk, that really mattered. Yeah, I mean, defend him at all costs, which all announcers do, but you try to act like you don't want him to win desperately, and we all know you're full of crap.
Rope-a-dope you to no end. DJ and PK.
It don't work.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Spring training
on the dope.
Spring training starting today. 5 games in Arizona and Florida. All gets underway with your New York Yankees playing the Baltimore Orioles at 11 a.m. The first spring training game. Baseball is here.
If you want me to own either of the two, I would probably I would definitely lean Mets.
You're just more of a National League guy. It's the way it is.
I don't know
Phillies,
why.
Diamondbacks,
I don't know why.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a.
Yeah, but that was later.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But it is just how you roll.
Yeah, I don't really know why, but I'm definitely more of a National Leaguer. Yeah, 110 today, man. Diamondbacks and Rockies. I'm going to be watching.
There you go. From Scottsdale, Arizona, the Salt River Fields at Talking Stick.
Yeah, they actually share a facility.
Who are the teams there?
Those two.
Oh, those two are both in that facility. Okay, got it.
What I just said.
Well, I didn't get it. You said they shared. I thought, well,
They share the facility.
I didn't get
So down the left field line is
I thought your Diamondbacks might have shared it with. I mean, I knew it wasn't the Padres because I know they're in Peoria.
Well,
But
they
there's
with
so many
Seattle.
teams. Yes, I knew that.
Yes, you go down the left field line and you got the Rocky stuff. No, it's the other way. Right field line, Rocky stuff. Left field, Diamondbacks. And it's obviously these new facilities.
They're all fabulous.
Yeah, with 7 diamonds, and then they got like 4 just infields, not the full, and then they got 15 batting areas. You can see it as you're walking in. It's awesome.
The Athletics getting ready to start their second of what is supposed to be 3 years in Sacramento before they move to Vegas. They know people doubt them, so they had an announcement that the foundation work on their new ballpark in Vegas is complete, and they still plan on being there for the 2028 season. $2 billion, 33,000
What are they going to do?
seats.
Stop it halfway through? I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like they know there's been all this doubt, and they're like, see, we're doing it.
well, you can
There
go look.
I drove. I was there last weekend. I drove by and looked at it, and there was a bunch of cranes.
All right.
It's right across the street from MGM.
Yeah, it's right there.
New York, Kitty Corner, and the Luxor. I mean, sort of on the south end. It's right off of Tropicana. I mean, it's there.
Well, yeah, I took down the Tropicana Hotel to put it in that spot.
Yeah, it's coming.
DJ and PK. Team USA does it. They win the gold. It wasn't easy. They've been blowing everybody out, including Canada 5-0 in the preliminary round, but they were down. Gave up a goal in the second period, had to pull the goaltender, got a late dramatic goal, and then won in overtime 2-1. They get the gold. Canada gets silver in women's hockey.
I knew that Keller would come through in hockey.
You just didn't know. You were thinking Clayton. Could still happen. Men's semifinal today against Slovakia. That's at 1 o'clock.
Keller scoring. Megan Keller from Detroit. Same high school as Jesse Spano.
Okay. Alyssa Liu broke a 24-year drought for U.S. women. She won the gold in women's figure skating. So the U.S. with a nice medal haul yesterday. And now today, it'll be up to the men's hockey team against Slovakia at 1 o'clock. That's what's trending. It's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. David Locke's coming up at 8 o'clock. Pablo Mastroni at 8:30. The question of the day is next. Stay with us.
This past summer, we introduced the first ever Top 60 and 60 watch list. And now that the season is over, it's time to rank the best players in the state of Utah. It's the Top 60 and 60 ranking show, presented by Kenny J's Barbecue. Coming up this Friday, the Zone will rank the players that made the biggest impact on the state from the 2025 season. Live from Kenny J's Barbecue at the District in South Jordan, it's the Top 60 and 60 ranking show, presented by Kenny J's Barbecue, where you can get 10% off your catering order at KennyJ'sBBQ.com. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, we're brought to you by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. PK Suns owner Matt Ishbia says tanking is a, quote, losing behavior done by losers, closed quote.
Rotten Hades.
What would you say to him?
That's what I would just say to him.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you for coming down from the mount and giving us the 11th commandment.
He came down from Camelback
Yes,
Mountain?
that is exactly it. It was ringed in fog because there's always a lot of fog At Camel, is that in Tempe or Scottsdale?
That's right in the heart of Phoenix. There.
In the heart of Phoenix, Camelback Mountain, ringed and fogged.
It goes up, and then the face, the bottom of the mountain as it's coming down, looks like the face of a camel. That's why they call it Camelback Mountain.
Okay, the only positive thing I can say about this is that there are so many professional and college sports owners, athletic directors, general managers, coaches, players who go behind the curtain and don't say anything or interact with their fans. And when they do, it's total cliches. So at least he went out and he gave at least his fans, I don't know if anybody else cares what he thinks, but at least his fans and maybe some other people around the league, something to talk about. So there.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver gave him something to talk about.
Matt.
So there's that. That's positive. Then over here, it's like, oh, Matt, you're not exactly Red Auerbach. Matt, by the way, losing behavior done by losers. Oklahoma City did it, and they're literally the champions. Well, I could go on all day about how.
I think the bigger story is that when they traded for Durant, they traded all their picks. I think they don't have their own.
And so he's covering
like
here
2032.
Yeah. So he's covering.
They can't tank. There's no reason to tank.
They got picks back because they were out from the Jazz. That's why the Jazz ended up with that 2031 pick they traded away.
He doesn't control his
picks. No, because they did. They moved them all. They were desperate.
And they didn't even make the playoffs with those moves.
So he's like, yeah, it didn't matter when I blow those draft picks.
And as I understand
I get it.
He's backed away.
That's a little CYA thing right there. And
he was he got all this fame in the way that Mark Cuban did, and he went nuts with fame. It reminded me.
Except Cuban had the Mavs on the uptick, and Ishbia, they went into the curve.
Well, I mean, it's only his second year. You got to give me a little time here. I mean, right now.
I thought it was his third.
Well, I think it was in the middle.
It's still early.
Full season where he had control. And so they are on the upswing now. But these guys, and I was talking with somebody at the gym just the other day. You get these teams, I think it was when I was down in St. George, an 80-year-old ex-Marine, tough as can be. And we were talking about it. And I said, well, yeah, they buy these teams because they're billionaires, but they're anonymous billionaires. Then they buy these sports teams, then they get to be famous billionaires. And people are talking about them. And then they get to rub shoulders.
Yep.
And they can be out in the public. And,
yes.
And so Ishbia is going nuts here with all the sudden fame.
That theory, the first time I heard someone say that out loud, it made sense to me. It was Kevin O'Connor 25 years ago when Cuban was rising up and was answering emails. And he wanted to be out there so much.
Emails every time I emailed
I know.
him. He ran out on the court one time, and then he did it as a joke.
Yeah.
I think
Kevin
Fools.
Kevin O'Connor said that, and I'm like, well, that would explain what Cuban's doing. I get that.
Yeah.
And then you could think other people, and you'd kind of see it, but Cuban was just the best example of it, and it was right in the moment. And in 25 years, multiple leagues, multiple owners, it just keeps holding true.
Right. Jerry Buzz.
Yeah.
Loved
it.
There are a few owners.
There are a few owners who hang back, but there's a lot who are out there.
Yeah, it reminds me when I first went to NAU, and that very first weekend, all these kids who didn't have the freedom that I had were going berserk. Yeah, they were.
And you
just,
were like, been there, done that. Look at you people go.
Because my parents were older.
Yeah,
and by the time I came along, they were pretty much done. So I had free reign to do basically whatever I wanted. Drove my sisters nuts.
Wait, there were rules. Yeah. What happened?
Yeah. And I had
at least your parents let the rules go over a decade. My parents let them go over 3.5 years. By the time I got to the third kid.
But they had no kids in that decade to enforce the rules. So maybe they would have kept them. But
I don't. I just think that's more understandable
I was 9
as opposed
years old,
to
my two sisters were already out of high school.
Right.
So
and I had brothers 2 and 4 years behind me in school.
There were no rules to enforce. They weren't putting in a curfew on me when I was 8. And I was fast living in Jersey, but
on the third grade.
And I had no curfew. I could do whatever I want. And I looked at some of these guys just getting rip-roaring drunk and throwing up all over the place. I thought, guys, this is the first weekend here.
You pace yourself.
And so I see Ishbia getting all this fame, and he's going overboard. Mm-hmm. And it's easy for him to say, and you're right, I do appreciate that he's willing to say something rather than cliches. I always encourage somebody, if you got something to say and you want to say it, say it. But I do think you haven't walked in the Jazz shoes. How else are they going to do it?
And you're right about the cover, a little CYA going on there with the fans. That I hadn't thought of that, but you're right.
Yeah.
I totally buy it. That resonates once you say it. Tony said this worked for the Spurs and OKC and the Pistons and the Rockets most recently. Tony has no patience for this quote.
I mean, it was a week ago that question that you asked Locke last 2.5 minutes, and you started in like 1974.
Nope, started in 84, 85, 86.
Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah, it does. It's 40 years, not 50. Because I could have really bored you.
And you went through the whole history. And I have to, Locke today, I've got to give him credit. Because I was thinking there might have been a San Bernardino there.
Nope.
But he stayed with it.
He did. He locked in.
Yeah.
David Locke.
I had checked out not once. I feel like on
you checked out,
LeBron.
you checked back in, and
not
you checked
one,
out again?
Not two, not three.
Every 30 seconds you dip back in. No,
So the history of the league has proven this. Yeah. And now you want to institute all these rules after San Antonio has benefited multiple times and got 5 titles and could see where they can get maybe 1 or 2 over the next decade. Now we're going to, San Antonio, we got to come down on this. This is outrageous.
I know. Whatever. The cool thing is, while they experiment with all these rules, which I anticipate will not work, the Jazz should be in a window where they're a playoff team. It's like, go experiment on those guys over there.
Right, but they'll keep their mouth shut.
Yeah. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point. Let them experiment. I did think of what you always say. It's like, well, try something new. Maybe it'll work. I don't believe it will, but maybe they'll try one of these things and it will make it better. Yeah. Nothing's made it better for 40 years. They've tried a bunch of stuff, and some of the stuff that they suggested in this most recent round, they've already tried and hated back in the 80s.
The funny thing is that you want teams to try to win. And by tanking, you are trying to win.
You just got to go backwards to go forward sometimes. That's why cars have reverse.
That's a fact. You could just go, be in the middle of the league, get in the play-in, get in the playoff, go out, make your money, and be happy. But the Jazz are desperately trying to win. You can rip them all you want, and that's fine. Larry Miller said the worst thing is apathy, right? So go ahead and slam them. But they are trying to win. That's a fact. They're trying to win. There's no doubt about it. And this is the method that dictates that they go about trying to win is by losing to get the players. They could put these guys out there, and I think that if they made no moves, just say they got Jaren Jackson now, so they did make the move, but include him in the move. And just keep the guys and just try to win. And then wherever the draft picks fall, go ahead and do it. Because look at it. They, late picks, took Collier and Filipowski and Sensabaugh. There's something there in all 3 of them. So clearly they know what they're doing in terms of evaluation and drafts, right? Filipowski clearly should have gone 10 spots higher? I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Probably 15 or 20. Yeah. I haven't looked at it either.
Right. So they could do that, and I think they would develop if they just kept their guys, and then, you make a few moves around the edges, as every team does. They could be a playoff team. But they're saying, no, that's not good enough. That's not what we want. We want to win at a higher level than that. And this is the way they're doing it. So you're criticizing them for trying to win. How else can they do it? Change my mind that it's different. I'll be open. Because in the end, it's sports, and I don't really give a crap if the Jazz win 20 games or 60 games. It really, at this point, in the beginning, when I was doing this radio, and I really, really wanted to do it, I wanted it worse than anything that I've ever wanted job-wise. And I really wanted them to win because I was so nervous about the ratings. Well, now...
I know. We've gone through COVID. There were literally no games, and we found out the ratings.
I'm good to go, and I don't really care, but I want them to do it. It's more fun. But so the point I'm making is I'm open. Convince me that they're not trying to win, that this is the wrong way to go about it. I'm open. I haven't heard an explanation that would say, do it this way rather than the way that they've been doing it.
I don't think anyone is going to be able to convince you because I don't think there's any convincing to be done.
I'll give you $1 if you can.
Tony has posted on our social media for
What's
years.
Tony got?
He said it worked for the Spurs, Oklahoma City, Detroit, and Houston most recently. I mean, he could have gone on for 2.5 minutes like I did, but he just went with comma, most recently.
Well, he's probably a younger guy.
Yeah, it could be.
So, yeah.
Well,
So it's out there. What are you going to do to that was what I was saying to Ishbia. What do you want the Jazz to do?
Right. Jeff says, but I think it goes to your point that he was talking about him. That's mostly what we do. He traded away all the draft picks. That's losing behavior. So, people criticize me for that, but that's just losing behavior that losers do. He's just trying to dismiss that. Jeff, I, as a lifelong Jazz fan, got sick of year and years being in the middle. Here and there, we might make a deep playoff run, but never the ultimate prize. So I'm okay doing something different for a few years to see if it yields different results. Jeff, long-term buy-in, and he's got a little bit of patience for this.
Well, the Statues and JSO did have a few long playoff runs.
They did.
That's a fact. I mean, you get the Western Conference Final or Eastern Conference. That's a long run.
They were in the conference finals 5 times in 7 years.
If you're playing in June,
that's a long time. Yeah, if you get to Memorial Day even, that's late May.
That's a fact.
Right.
So they have had it. It's been a while. We understand that. But what else are they supposed to do?
This is part of the, we got to have a harder salary cap. So you do that, and then it makes it harder with this whole second apron that isn't a hard cap, but it's kind of acting like one. So that just makes it harder to make free agent moves. That makes it harder to make trades. And you can literally track what everybody's doing across the league. So it forces people to go to the draft to get talent.
Well, where do free agents go? I mean, come on.
First off, there aren't that many. And second off, they go to L.A. and they go to Miami. And maybe they go to New York because Brunson did. So, but they're not.
His dad was there and he grew up in the area.
Right.
Mitchell wants to get back there because it's home. Kevin Durant went to Oakland.
Dallas thought they could get a bunch of free agents there. Nowitzki, they opened up the roster and they couldn't get anybody.
Yeah. Did they get LaMarcus Aldridge? But I mean, he's not.
San Antonio.
What's San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Okay.
I know.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
It didn't win him a championship.
You remember years ago.
Got him rock solid in the middle.
Down in Phoenix, they were freaking out because Antonio McDyess was going to leave. And they had Jason Kidd and these guys flew to Denver.
Yeah.
It's Antonio McDyess. I mean, we go crazy over these guys that in 10 years nobody remembers.
Yep. Right. Living in the moment, passionately want to win.
Yeah. They're going to sell their souls. I think they send Jason Kidd and Rex Chapman to hunt down Antonio McDyess. And Gail Miller had to go to San Diego in the mountains on July 4th to try to get Hayward. Well, Hayward, here, let me open the door for you, son. Where do you want to go? I'll drive you there. I mean, Gordon Hayward, looking back.
The history of the league. When people recount the history of the league, they're not going to recount Gordon.
Right. Now, good for him. He made millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's why there's no losers in pro sports.
Ding.
But, I mean, he was a franchise changer. And they chanted his name, Gordon Hayward, when it was obvious this was going to be the end of the run. Yeah, against I think the Warriors swept them, and we got to have Gordon Hayward. And the Kings, their fans did it with Chris Webber. Chris Webber, what's he noted for? Calling a timeout when they didn't have it and dating Tyra Banks.
Yep, there it is. Bill sounds like one of your people, PK. Bill lives in Las Vegas. Must be listening to us online, KSLSports.com. Maybe he gets the podcast. YouTube, KSLSports.com, whenever, wherever. Bill says, we will be beating them in the play-in game next season, and then we'll see who the losers are.
Oh,
how about a little sarcasm, a little in your face, and yeah.
Oh.
Bill, he's probably born in Jersey.
Have a little civil war with my family.
You and your sister's going at it.
Only my one. The other one doesn't care. But my one sister's a hardcore sports fan.
Dave, I agree with him. Teaching a culture of losing is hard to undo later. Well, I guess we can put that to the test next year, and I get the point. It could happen, but it's not in this case.
Well,
I don't think it's going to be in this case.
All these teams that you just read from Tony
have turned it around, yeah.
Did they not have a culture of losing?
Of course, also, you swap out enough guys, then all that culture is gone, and
Yeah, but I mean,
But the guys who stayed didn't get burned by it.
You're tanking for the sake to get the draft picks and the foundational players, the Chet Holmgrens of the world. Those guys are not leaving.
No.
They're staying.
Right.
The one argument, and they were talking about this on the NBA channel when I was driving in this morning, is that, and this will be something I thought, this is DJ will salivate over this.
All right, let's go.
Put
on the salivary glands. Here we go.
I don't know.
Yuck, maybe you. Could you salivate over about 60% of stuff I salivate
look to
about?
the left, so none of it, there's no...
so there's no flying spittle landing on you? That's disgusting.
Right. Yeah,
all right, go ahead.
That he said, he must have been a name because he was hosting on the NBA network, but I don't know the name. They never said it, and I couldn't recognize the voice. He said that... I can't remember the last time a number one pick won an NBA title.
Oh, good one.
And then they went and they pointed out that you can win titles without top picks. Jokic is the classic example.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi Leonard, Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo, is a foreigner and all, but Kawhi Leonard, there's really no excuse. Jokic, a foreigner dude, so there might be a little bit there, although that's weak now. But I'll entertain the argument, but in my mind, it's still weak with the amount of scouting and all that stuff around the world, right? And then they obviously say Gilgeous-Alexander was later. Jalen Williams, who's Cody's older brother, it was like a 12 pick. Not that he's in and of himself, but he's a critical component of. They were talking about Finals MVPs, and Williams is, and so there's a bunch of guys that have won titles that weren't these high picks.
Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis went back-to-back as number ones in 2011 and 12, and they have both won championships. Now, Kyrie won it in Cleveland because LeBron came back, right? Davis won it because he was in New Orleans and leveraged his way out and got to L.A. and
secondary players, good players.
Yeah, but you're way more likely. I mean,
Anthony
Bennett was a complete bust. Markelle Fultz, DeAndre Ayton. I mean, there's a lot of number ones. There's some guys who are too young. We'll see what happens with Flag and Wembanyama because everyone's been going nuts about them the last 3 years.
Oh, they look fine.
Right. But will they end up being the best player on a championship team? I mean, you can see why people were going nuts about them, but they haven't done it yet. Time will tell.
Understood. I agree. But I also can see why teams would tank for the opportunity to get them.
Sure. Right. And Detroit got the number one pick, Cade Cunningham, and now they lead the East.
Good player. Yeah, people don't put Detroit in it because they haven't done it yet, but they've gotten to the point where they have the opportunity to do it based on sucking.
Yeah. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. David Locke with more on the Utah Jazz coming up at the top of the hour. We got some college hoops for you next. Stay with us.
Whirls around and down.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK reminding you, KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. And listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. College hoops tomorrow night, PK. The Utes are trying to get back-to-back wins at home against UCF. Be nice to win a few games. It's hard to go through a season and just get drilled over and over. The Aggies are on the road in Reno.
Utes are on a winning streak, man.
I like it. Get some W's. Let's go.
You had one game. And who was it, Oklahoma State that they led and then
couldn't finish, couldn't seal the deal. Got away in the last few minutes.
So, see what they can do.
Utah State's at Nevada tomorrow night. They're in Reno. Nevada's 12-2 at home, so not an easy place to win. But the Aggies now with a one-game lead, and we're coming down the stretch. They got San Diego State next, so two big road games here.
What are you, Lafitte Pinkai?
Lafitte Pinkai, great jockey. Is he like 80s and 90s? Or probably even longer than that. Some of those guys ride for 40 years.
They can ride in their 50s if they want.
And then you got the BYU Cougars with Iowa State coming in, a chance to get a big win, shock the world, and take down number 6 Iowa State.
And I went back and listened to what Kevin said after the Arizona game, and I support what he's saying. I agree with him. He's talking about how they're now trying to put this thing together on the fly, and there were some good things. There's no question there were some good things. You got to build upon it, and you got to win, right? And that's the whole idea of having a basketball team. The number one thing. You can do all these other things, but you got to win. And so they have this golden opportunity here presenting itself against a really good team, against a big-time buff coach. He's the buffest coach in college basketball. Those biceps are just impressive. Hockey Lee is the only guy I know who can give him a run for his money. Eddie Hockey Lee, my sister's friend down there from Arizona. And with that in mind, now you've had a week to process it and a week to work on it, obviously with it being the loss of Richie Saunders. And so I have a level of optimism that they can do this.
Been a long time since they held somebody to 75 points. To go do that in Arizona, they played hard, and they played pretty smart and limited a lot of easy shots. There were a few exceptions, obviously, with some turnovers that bit them. But it wasn't all bad. I mean, offensively,
It's been a long time, you say?
Been a long time.
I knew you were a rocker.
Yeah.
Underneath that.
Somewhere. Past all the dust and the cobwebs. There'd be some classic rock. And Iowa State with a 3-3 record on the road. So you're saying there's a chance.
I have a level of optimism for the Cougars. Not that they're going to be able to roll by any stretch. It's going to be every game now is going to be harder for them to win, obviously. Just for the loss of the production and the caliber of player. Plus, the spiritual leader, the heart and soul of the team, the Cougar. I mean, you can look at DeBonsa, and that guy, for only going to be there 1 year, he has ingratiated himself into BYU really, really well, and I respect him for that. But the fact is, Richie Saunders, local kid, LDS kid, mission, it's all about what BYU is about. It's emblematic in Richie Saunders. So he goes down, and he doesn't have a second chance to play college ball. It's over. He can't come back next year. It's done. And so besides the literal production, it's an emotional blow to everyone. And it takes a bit to overcome that. And now, okay, not that everything is solved and forget about Richie. It's been a week now. I'm not saying that. But you have had time to process it. You've had time to get out on the floor, play a really good opponent, play to practice, to go to film room. And so I'm expecting a more cohesive performance from this team. Because we saw a week ago where Kevin Young said, Cata's got to play better. He said that in the postgame last Saturday. We did play better. Yeah. He gave us his Cata performance. So look inward to each of these guys, and Cata did what he's capable of doing. Played very well the other night, 4 blocks. So now everybody's got to look at themselves. I got to step up.
A lot of these guys who are getting more minutes and a better chance to impact the game now get it for this. Well, I guess the third time. They kind of got it on the fly in the game where Saunders got hurt. They're back at home. Maybe they got a little better feel for it, and role players tend to play better at home. And Iowa State lost at TCU and at Cincinnati, and those teams were both 6 and 7 in the league. And I get there's some people listening to this right now saying, come on, man, BYU is going to be, with this schedule, they're going to be a 500 team down the stretch. That might end up being true. Even if they beat Iowa State, it might end up being true. But that's what TCU and Cincinnati are, and Iowa State lost to both of them on the road. So it could happen. It's intriguing enough. You definitely want to turn the game on Saturday night and see what happens. 8:30 on ESPN. David Locke next on the Utah Jazz. They are in Memphis tonight. The All-Star break is over for the Jazz. They are playing games again. We'll talk with David Locke next. Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach, at 8:30.